Yes, all right. Good evening. It is 6:30, Wednesday, December 18th, 2024. We now call to order the Historic Town of Eatonville Community Redevelopment Agency meeting. Mrs. King, please verify quorum and roll call.
Okay, Director Randolph.
Present.
Director Mack.
Here.
Director Daniels.
Okay.
Director Critton and Director Williams is not here. Vice Chair Washington. Chair Gardner.
Here. Please stand for a moment of silence followed by the pledge of allegiance. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first item is presentation November 24th.
For the record.
For the record, Director Critton is present. So do you have a
Agenda.
You
Agenda.
don't do that for CRA.
So I want to discuss it for me. Well,
What is your,
no, it's by laws. Let's say that.
since that's in the decisions, we can do it at that time. All right, so do we have a presentation?
For the finance,
November 24th fiscal report.
yes. As each board member received a copy of the transactions, bank balances of the redevelopment agency for the month of November. As you can see, I'm just gonna read the CRA revenues total. We're at $1,962,401.75. Next one is the expenditures to date. And that number is $1,961,565.16. Does anybody on the board have any questions or anything like that? The fiscal clerk is not going to be here today, so I'll just write down the question about it to her.
Would you say this? You say on the unexpended, but the what is the current expenses? Is
Yeah.
59?
You have your revenues.
Yeah, I know that.
You have your revenues, and then you have your total expenses, projected expenditures.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions? So if you do have questions, let's make sure you send the email to Director Johnson. The next item, citizen participation. Are there any?
We do. We have David Moran. Come on up to.
Good evening. Not very comfortable speaking in front of a large crowd. But I wanted to thank you for your support for the plat project. I'd really like to thank Mr. Johnson for initiating it Squander for helping us getting it going and gives me a huge amount of confidence knowing that now that Mr. Johnson is back under his leadership and we have a very strong chance of this project to completion. And while I'm only the owner of the building, it's a CRA project here to help with whatever it takes. So
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
No, that was it.
All right, next item is the approval of the consent agenda. There's going to be one change for the minutes for 9/3/24. There's going to be a name correction for that citizen participation from Angie Thomas to Angie Johnson. So with that correction, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, right? It has been approved. There are no items for the board discussion. So we are ready for the first board decision. Approval of resolution CRA R 2024-41, board meeting scheduled for 2025.
You want me to read the pre-allocation?
Yeah, great.
Resolution CRA-R 2024-41. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Town of Eatonville Community Redevelopment Agency, TOCRA, Eatonville, Florida Board of Directors approving the 2025 calendar year Board of Directors meeting schedule, providing for conflict severability and an effective date.
You have heard the resolution. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded.
Question.
Question, yes.
This will post on the internet, right? This meeting
Right.
posted. This
Yes, it has to be posted on the website.
Wait, man.
Director Randolph.
Just wanna just kind of, just ask a question. In the event if there's no meeting, it's gonna be held, may not be a need to have a meeting. It just depends. So how many days would that be possible? If that were to occur, how many days notice we would get?
If at any point when there's not a quorum or there's some kind of conflict and we cannot have a meeting, we just have to go on the website and update it and put it canceled. And that's all required.
Okay. Thank you.
Was that your question? Was it the notice?
Well, it was
The
gonna
time
go,
frame for the
like
notice.
any event, if we have basically satisfied everything, and if there's nothing they have a meeting about.
Right.
Cause sometimes it does happen.
Right.
So would you just use your discretion to say, well, we won't have a meeting because of whatever the reason would be?
It would be my preference, those days that there's no business to be taken care of, that we treat it as a training session.
Okay.
Director Critton.
Notice that one of the Thursdays is a federal holiday in June, so I'm assuming that we'll make those adjustments when we get there, and this is just for the purpose of,
Advertising.
yeah, okay, fulfilling that requirement, okay. Mayor,
Yes.
to this subject, to answer your question as well from the clerk's office, I always do postings on the bulletin as well as on the town website as well. And he'll have notice on the CRA.
Okay,
Any other questions?
no more questions.
All right, so it's been, motion and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All opposed? There are none. It has been approved. Next item is the approval of resolution CRA R 2024-42, authorizing the executive director the authority to suspend all CRA programs not consistent with the 97 CRA plan. Wait, the preamble.
Resolution CRA-R 2024-42. A resolution of the Board of Directors of the Town of Eatonville Community Redevelopment Agency, TOCRA, Eatonville, Florida. Board of Directors authorizing the Executive Director the authority to suspend and or terminate TOCRA programming not consistent with the 1997 CRA plan, providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
You've heard the preamble read. Is there a motion?
A question.
Second.
I have one question.
It's been moved and seconded. Director Randolph.
Okay, just a very simple. Mr. Johnson, you know that based upon this item here, You know, my expressions when you came over, I do support the inconsistency with these programs. But what I think would be good if we, if everyone, if you had something like a diagram or some, reference sheet to go by for each one of these programs, why they're not consistent. And that would be like a learning, situation for a lot of us to be aware of programs that we should not really have, and maybe some of the ones that we're going to keep as to why we need to keep those programs, and according to our discussion on the CRA plan.
As I finish my review of all the programming,
Uh-huh.
I'll get that out to everybody. So they
Okay.
can have it.
All right, very good. All right, thank you.
Director Daniels.
Yes, my main point was in this situation is that we bring anything that we are going to terminate or it's not according to the plan that this board gets to vote on it. Since we approved them to have them, whatever programs they are, I'm asking that they come and let the board make that decision.
But, okay.
Director Creighton, then Director and Vice Chair.
This is mostly just repetition, but I was gonna ask the same thing, if we could see a list of some of those programs. I know in the time that I've been here, most of the programs that we've tried to implement, we've tried to tie back into the plan. And so a lot of those program requirements and descriptions usually have that direct connection. So I'm not 100% sure which programs those are, but again, like Director Daniel said, if there is a program that does not align with our plan, we know for a fact that we need to go ahead and rectify that. I would just ask that in the suspending or removing of programs that we find maybe like an alternative or some kind of supplement to potentially keep the program or the benefit to the community going, but making sure that it aligns with the plan and that we're following those instructions. I think I would be more comfortable knowing which programs and how we can redirect those and then approving it from that measure. But I would hate to see, even though I trust your judgment, I would just hate to see a program disappear that we could have tweaked and then have to start all the way over. So if there's a way to kind of combine the two, get rid of what we don't need, but still look at, I know you're gonna do your review, and so I look forward to seeing what you have to say about that. But if there's a way to combine the two, I would be extremely comfortable with it.
Okay. No problem.
My question is, just the 97 plan says what we should have. Do we need to implement a plan, add it to it with a resolution, or how we do that? Say you're taking programs out, and what's in the 97 program now?
We're talking about two different subjects. The plan itself is the CRA plan.
Okay,
It lists the goals and objectives within the plan. There are certain programs that have been adopted that are not consistent with the 97 plan. And that's why I was asking permission to kind of highlight that for the board. And I don't have a problem with bringing back a list and rationale to why something is being removed. I don't have a problem with that.
so to bring it back, I just have to vote on it, right?
It'll be at the next meeting.
Okay, I just want to make sure that,
So when we table, does that mean that this is credit towards a table and then you come back with it, with that?
I would recommend that you table it and I'll just bring you back the changes. You're aware that we are going to be looking at making some changes.
If possible, yeah.
So we want to rescind,
Yeah, rescind my,
one Director Daniels.
I think that we should take this out, period. I think any program that we approve we should have the authority to take out. That's why.
What we're saying.
No, she said table it. I'm saying the ability for an executive director to take any plan or suspend it should be on this board. That's what I'm saying.
Well, two things. Okay, I'm sorry.
What I'm saying here is that what we're asking for is that present all the programs that we have, the ones that, and just present them. These are the ones that meet the plan, and these are the ones that don't meet the plans, and why they don't meet the plans. That's all we have to do. So the ones that meet the plans, we don't even have to further discuss those, but you can just show that as an example. So it will be more of a learning aspect for the board to be aware.
It's fine with the chair and Ms. Randolph. I just want to give you one example. you have the paint, pave, and plant program.
Yes,
Tree planting is nowhere in the redevelopment plan,
that's right.
so it should not be in a program. Secondly, you have programs that you have created where there's only one user since their creation. So the way it's structured and the way it's written, it is not inducive to get residents to want to participate because nobody wants to put a lien on their property for $2,500. So
Absolutely.
we gotta make some substantive changes and bring back those programs that, one, are consistent with the plan, two, accomplish what you're trying to accomplish by having more involvement of our residents.
Absolutely.
Director Den.
Yes, I keep going back on giving the authorization to the executive director, the authority to suspend. So if you want to take out authority and just say the executive director to bring all CRA programs to be suspended to the board, not consistent with the 1997 CRA plan, that's cool.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but this resolution says we're giving you the authority to do it yourself. That's all I'm saying. So if you want to take out the authority, take out the authorization of, say the executive director will bring all CRA plans that are not consistent with the 1997 CRA plan for suspension or modification. That's awesome.
I'm fine with whatever change the board decides. However they want it.
Right.
So-
Move the change.
So at this point, we have a motion on the floor.
Yeah, we said,
If
He
we
rescinded
resist-
this.
yeah, we said,
We rescinded, so we're rescinding the second, rescind the motion, and we're back to now, is there a motion to table?
so,
So,
second,
It's been moved and seconded, all in favor say aye.
aye.
All opposed. All right, item number 5 has been tabled until the next meeting, and you'll bring back programs with justification to keep or abandon. Item number 6,
Mayor,
yes,
Mayor,
sir.
just for the record, so I'm clear, I know he's bringing back a list of programs that does not align with the 1997. But is he also bringing back a revised resolution that will speak to the new language?
Yes. Okay. The next is, this is the one that Vice Chair asked me to,
That table.
resolution started. That was approving the CRA bylaws.
Motion. You have to do it by motion.
You wanna wait till the second, or you? have-
I have a question. I mean, we
Yeah.
can wait for the second.
I guess you can put a motion on the floor and then.
Okay, so I'll put the motion.
Question.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So is there a motion to table resolution CRA R 2024-43? Do you need to read it? No.
second,
It's been moved and seconded there, Director Daniels.
Is there any particular reason you want more time to review Boardman, Washington?
Yes, that's the main reason.
All right. Do we need to, questions for all our questions that we have on the ballot, do we need to submit that to the executive director or to the chair? Because I have like 2 or 3 as well that I had questions on. So do we submit that to y'all again? Because it's been the same thing I've been, I guess opposing would be my word, for the bylaws.
So is it the same as what's already in the language of the 3 that we reviewed
This
that
last
day?
one, right, this last one this year, I had some stuff that I wanted to.
So then I'm gonna say
All right.
send it to the director.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, Director.
There were at least 3 different bylaws that were submitted previously to this makes the 4th. So I mean, it's kind of hard to keep up with all of this, so you have that many bylaws.
That document represents the combination of
The combination
Of all of
of the ones that were already submitted.
the ones that you provided to me.
Okay, I got that. Okay, I was just thinking maybe from that, I see the supermajority vote, and that was in one of the other bylaws.
Right.
It was just that going through this, when I did this today towards my homework, I came up with different things, and I just wanted to bring it up for discussion. But we can do that at this meeting or maybe the next one. The next meeting later, or I can go with you. I'll just, okay. Thank you.
So my question is similar, I'm sorry, did I skip somebody?
No,
Okay. Because I know we kind of keep bringing it up. We talked about having a workshop. We talked about lining them up side by side. I did see the compilation of the former ones. But I think when I saw this, I was led to believe that this was the end all be all. So like, let's say, for example, in copy B, I don't like the super majority, or in copy C, I don't like the meeting schedule or whatever the case is, but it's all compiled into one. How do we go about, I don't want to tick for tack this, I promise y'all, but how do we go about itemizing each individual change and agreeing upon those changes as they will be represented in one document?
Well, the changes based upon the 3 documents that I was providing.
Right.
The changes that were made, well, combined, there is not that many. Some of the stuff
Right.
is the same.
It is.
As far as the meeting notices and the board and the structure and all those things. So a lot of those things are the same in both, all 3 documents. So if we're gonna bring it back in the January meeting, I'll just highlight those things that are not consistent.
Okay.
And you will have it, and the board can change it and do whatever the board decides to do.
In that January
Yeah.
meeting. Okay.
I was directed to combine them, so that's what I did.
Yeah, because I don't wanna belabor a meeting by, which is why I thought we recommended a workshop. I don't wanna belabor a meeting by tick for tacking every line or every detail, but I do wanna make sure that every voice is represented and that we know, okay, I do like this, but I don't like that. And then knowing that we have the flexibility to make changes without dragging out a meeting, to the bylaws.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
May I make another comment, please?
Director
What
Creighton.
Director Creighton said was, it was very correct. When we did this at one meeting on the bylaws, and we had to go over at least about 2 meetings as a workshop in order to get it right. Maybe that's probably due because there may be other members may have something that I would like to see or maybe add, and maybe I haven't heard what they have, and it may be something that this can be combined as we had just, as she had just mentioned. So I think we should workshop it, in my opinion, so we can have everyone can have a voice to hear exactly what's being presented.
Yes, if I may, just want to piggyback on, what both of you said. We've been dealing with this for some time now, even with Miss Shannon to, her defense. And we're still at the same place with this. So maybe we do need to workshop this, but we have workshopped it. So are we gonna continue workshopping and then come back to having some solution, but not having a solution? So where are we right now? I think what we need to do and what we've done in the past is give our recommendations to Executive Mr. Johnson in terms of what it is that we want to change in the bylaws, because I know I've done it in the past. And even when Ms. Shannon was here, I gave her my recommendations and nothing still happened. Like with the supermajority vote, I'm definitely in favor of that, because I think it's going to protect the executive director in terms of, not having that, idea to just get rid of someone once you get a new administration in or a new governing body, because I know we've had that situation occur in the past, and we don't want to continue going on that path because we're never going to get anything done in terms of having an executive director. So that's one of my biggest ones right there, the super majority vote. So I think what we need to do as a panel, as a board, is give our recommendations to Mr. Johnson, and in the next January meeting, have it come to full fruition and just vote upon it and be done with it, versus continue going back and forth, because that's what we're doing at this point, we're going back and forth. You don't like this, you don't like that, so we need to come to some kind of ground. So what we're all agreeing upon, even though we're not gonna totally agree on everything, but I think we need to come to some kind of conclusion where we can close this out, especially with these bylaws.
All right, is it possible that in the January meeting that we keep the schedule very light?
Yes.
And then this will be the bulk
Yes.
of what we do in January? I know the program issue shouldn't be that difficult if those documents are given to us prior. And then, so we already can understand that, just have questions for you, but this could be the bulk of the conversation. If everyone's okay with that for the January meeting, let this be
Yes, ma'am.
the main issue.
If I may, I would just like to say that, with the stability that we have on the board right now, I believe Director Mack that this is something that we can go ahead and just resolve. I do agree that it's been picked up and put down and picked up and put down, probably with the best of intentions, but pretty sure we can count on Director Johnson to compile everything, present it to us, and then we can kind of finally have this last conversation. So I'm confident that we can do it. I'm confident.
I'm optimistic also, so.
And it can be vetted
Yes.
to make sure it's something that we can,
Yeah.
it aligns with state
Absolutely.
statutes. All right. So it's been moved and seconded to table?
Yes.
Yes. It's been moved and seconded to table. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. All right, it'll be tabled into the next meeting and and then it should be finalized. Item 7, approval of resolution CRA R 2024-44, authorizing the executive director or designee to have limited access to the CRA trust account for the purpose of obtaining bank records and statements only. Ms. King.
Resolution CRA R 2024-44, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Town of Eatonville Community Redevelopment Agency, TOCRA, Eatonville, Florida, Board of Directors authorizing the Executive Director or designee and the Town of Eatonville Finance Director the authority to complete banking transactions consistent with the amended 2007 interlocal agreement between Orange County, the Town of Eatonville, and the TOCRA, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date.
You've heard the preamble. Is there a motion?
So,
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
aye.
Aye. All opposed. All right, next item. So 7 has been approved.
Yes, I don't know whether or not this is appropriate, but it wouldn't change anything, but I just want you to know that the cover sheet on CRA, the one that misses 45 and 40, the other one are the identical. That makes sense, an error.
This on the cover sheet.
Yeah.
Right, you have that? It didn't affect the main
It
document.
didn't affect the document. It just-
And the number that was just read is correct.
Hmm.
The number that was just read is correct.
Hold on.
44,
Yes.
resolution 44.
44 is correct? Okay.
I just want to bring it
Yeah.
to your attention.
44 is correct, so everything is fine except for that cover sheet. All right,
And then that cover sheet is accurate as well.
okay. So approval of resolution CRA R 2024-45, authorizing the administration of the TOCRA and Town of Eatonville to complete bank transfers. Ms. Keating, preamble, please.
Actually, on the cover sheet, it should say 45. It says
Yeah.
44.
I'm looking at both resolutions. And the preambles read the same,
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
unless there's a different draft for the 45. Okay.
The resolution 44 is big. The reason that resolution was brought before the board is because right now, Mrs. Washington is the only person who can obtain records. So purpose of that is we can't designate fiscal coordinator yet because of our contractual relationship. That's why it says executive director or designate. Because after January, we'll be able to designate fiscal coordinator. So I would have just asked the board to approve the resolution. Thank you, read the preamble for the bank transfer.
Yes, resolution CRA R 2024-44. That is for the complete banking transaction consistent with 2007 interlocal agreement.
Is there a way that we can bring this one back? Because it has the wrong, it doesn't match what the front on 45.
I would ask that we table that, right?
Yeah.
Fine. I can reach it right now.
We're gonna have to move to table, 2024. 45.
And And my question, and we can definitely table it, but my question, we can table it, but my question based on the bylaws, is it necessary to have a resolution at all? This is part of.
It's
taking
an
care of the
administrative
banking.
function. I just wanted to ask the board if it's okay, just in case they ask me for something from the board. That's what it was for.
Cause it's part of the duties of the
I
day to day, so I
I
didn't
got
know.
cleaned it up anyway.
Okay, so there's been a motion to table, that was 8.
Yeah.
Are we, okay,
I rescind my motion.
so we rescind
You're not tabling 8, you're tabling 7.
that,
No,
That's it.
no, we
Just pass it.
we
Yeah, just
passed
pass
seven,
it.
we on 8.
We're on 8.
Cause the language on the back
2007.
doesn't match the cover sheet.
It's,
The language on 7 and 8 are the same.
And
No,
we're
I see.
tabling, we need to rescind the vote on 7
and
and
keep it
table
for
7. And then we'll move to
keep
the
it for
next.
8.
Right,
Are we keeping 8 or tabling vote?
we're keeping 8, because that has to happen now, because they're doing the transaction.
All right,
Yes, can I catch up?
okay, so when the preamble was read for 7,
It was actually.
it was actually for 8.
The preamble for 7 is the,
Same as the preamble, right?
because my 7 says approving the CRA bylaws for 7, and for 8 and 9, I have the same thing, which is the transaction for the trust account.
Bylaws, you probably don't have to amend the
6.
Oh.
6.
You don't have to. amend it.
Catch me up, now catch me up. Okay, so I'm following.
Same. Should have said something. What 8 is? That's the one.
So we're gonna rescind 7.
Right.
I'll tell you,
Yes,
What
attorney.
we do would be to move to reconsider, go back to 7, and then rescind 7. So it would require 2 sets of motions.
Okay, so right now we're going to,
Move to reconsider, number 7, CRA R 2024-40.
okay, so, is there a motion to reconsider resolution CRA R 2024-44, item 7?
so move.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Now approval, item number 7 is now being reconsidered. And we want to table item number, rescind the approval for CRA for item number 7. Lord. Is there a motion to rescind item number 7?
So move.
Second.
Mayor, is it to rescind and table?
Well, right now
Rescind and table.
we're rescinding and tabling. Rescind and table.
Okay, you can do that by 2 separate motions or 1 single motion, whatever the.
We're gonna do it one single.
Okay.
Okay, motion is to rescind and table. It's been motioned, and is there a second? Seconded. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed. Okay, item number 7 has been rescinded and tabled. Now, 8.
Which I need to reread the preamble.
Let's do
under
that.
Correct.
Yes, let's do that.
Resolution CRA R 2024-45, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Town of Eatonville Community Redevelopment Agency, TOPRA, Eatonville, Florida Board of Directors, authorizing the Executive Director or designee and the Town of Eatonville Finance Director the authority to complete banking transactions consistent with the amended 2007 interlocal agreement between Orange County, Town of Eatonville, and the TOPRA, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date.
You have heard the preamble. Is there a motion?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed. So it has passed. However, item number 7,
I have to do it anyway.
okay, there you go. We're going on. We're moving on.
I was just trying to get the board authorization just in case the vote. Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay, got it. All right, item number 9. Approval of resolution CRA R 2024-46. Is that the correct number?
Yes.
All right, terminating the interlocal agreement between the Tokra and the town of Eatonville.
Resolution CRA R 2024 46, a resolution of the Board of Directors of the Town of Eatonville Community Redevelopment Agency, Tokra, Eatonville, Florida. Board of Directors terminating the Town of Eatonville and the Tokra interlocal agreement and authorizing the Executive Director to negotiate with the Town of Eatonville administration a new interlocal and or memorandum of understanding for operation purposes, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date.
I am asking on this one that we table it at this time until a new one is right in place with it. And then, yes, so once one is terminated, the other one's put right in place. So that would be my request. Is there a motion? It's been moved. Is there a second?
Good question.
Yes.
So, do we need, you wanna put another one in place of this one, or do you need to have a period? That's my question. Do we need to
Then
have?
how do we communicate?
We've been communicating. I mean,
Some of the work that the CRA does, even if it's in their policy and procedures, such as human resources, is through the town. They're in the building. We're using chambers now. I mean, there are some things that, finance is still not completely CRA personnel. Because we have to have the three, what do you call it, dual roles, the separate roles. So there's still some, it's only for language correction.
Right. We're gonna amend the existing resolution to.
Yeah.
Can I comment as well? I know we're
It's
talking
in
about.
second.
Okay, and so I just wanted to piggyback off Director Washington. I noticed that we often talk about the interlocal agreement, and I think that there are some features in here that we can't get around, like you said. Like, I think there's a mention of like public works or something. So if moving forward, we decide to have some sort of function or something, and we need the assistance of public works specifically. I mean, if we do away with the interlocal agreement, then there is no way to contract out through the town, I'm assuming that if we do away with it, any additional work that we would need outside of the agency, we would have to contract through different 1099 contractors to do, which I'm assuming we don't want to do because we would prefer to keep it in-house. I guess that's directed at Director Washington, because I know that.
think I mean, is this something new? We didn't have this in place before, did we? Something.
No, this is like, no.
Since I've been here, we have.
I mean, but it's something they just brought on, but the years and years, they said, all right, we never had anything like this.
Right.
They always work together, we go.
So
The town and SRO always work together, we go,
Because
so I don't know why.
Right, but
It-
even when it's separate, don't you still have to contract through the town to some degree?
Just hand in hand, just.
I think the chair brings up several good points. The especially human resources, that has to, that apparatus has to be in place. We're gonna me and Mr. Presley, I have already talked, we're gonna get together and make some recommendations to changes to the document. You don't have a problem bringing it back in January.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to bring this situation back to January, mostly the stuff that we talked about tonight, because I know especially with the bylaws, the agreement, which is like one of the, main things that is the meat to everything, because I know it kind of dilutes everything, because if you do terminate it, it will be a conflict probably, and we don't want that, of course, but I think we just need to make sure that we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's in every event moving forward, to make sure that we have things in place before dismissing something else. So we gotta make sure that we're doing everything and governing ourselves accordingly when dealing with stuff like this, especially stuff.
I have one other question that I forgot to ask earlier, if that's okay. I noticed in section 1, it talks about the revocation of the agreement or the termination of the agreement in writing. Is that still necessary if we do a resolution, or do we still have that requirement to? This is considered, okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just want to continue this. So I do really think that, Mr. Johnson and, Mr. President need to sit down and really, have a, face-to-face meeting on this issue right here because it's something that, I know I was a champion of, you know, with having everything set because I think it just operates different. You don't have an advisors within, you know, grounds of, you know, two different entities. You know, you got the town and then you got the CRA, which I think should be separate anyway. So hopefully we can come to some kind of ground to where we can move forward with pushing the issue to, come up with a, solution to, benefit moving forward. So I know you and Mr. President will, you know, sit down and have that discussion and hopefully we can have something from you and him to come back to the board while we can make a, ultimate decision on what we need to do moving forward. That's gonna make sense for the town and CRA.
All right, so it has been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed. So item 9 has been tabled. And finally, approval of resolution CRAR 2024-47, approving auditing services agreement to be performed by Carr, Rig, and Ingram.
Resolution CRA R 2024-47. Resolution of the Board of Directors of the Town of Eatonville Community Redevelopment Agency, Tokra, Eatonville, Florida, Board of Directors approving the CRI engagement letter and agreement, providing for conflict, severability, and an effective date.
You have heard the preamble. Is there a motion?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed. All right, so it has been approved. Staff reports.
First of all, I'd like to thank the board for giving me the opportunity to come and research in this. Also like to thank Mrs. Randolph for the assistance she's provided me since I've come on board. She's done an excellent job. She's set up some relationships that I've been able to take it to the next level. So I really appreciate the opportunity. I really appreciate the work, and I look forward to making us some good accomplishments. That's all I have.
Any reports, Attorney?
The only thing, Attorney Jackson asked me to pass on regarding the 225 Kennedy property, that he's just waiting for a completed affidavit so he can submit that to the comptroller's office. Other than that, I have nothing to report. We shall have happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Director Creighton.
No report.
Director.
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out and being engaged in CRA business. Big congratulations to Mr. Johnson for becoming the new executive director. It's a pleasure seeing you sit in the seat. Once again, I know you did a sensational job while the time you sat there in the past, and I know you will continue to do a great job moving forward. I do appreciate everything that you have on the agenda tonight. I know us as a board have to make sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's and every aspect in terms of making, you know, great decisions for CRA. So I think we did a sensational job with you know, identifying that tonight with tabling some items that I think is much needed. And hopefully, you know, we can iron out all the kinks that is involved with that. And also I have an issue with having protection during council meeting, but not having protection during CRA meeting. We don't have any police presence, law enforcement, which I think is problematic. That's just my idea of thinking. Others may think differently, but if we're gonna have it for the town, we need to have it for the CRA as well. So that's just something I want to toss out there. I know, Mr. Johnson, we had a couple of meetings, and I do appreciate you sitting down with me discussing the future of CRA, and all the ideas that you have are sensational. But I know there was one thing that I don't think I spoke with you about, and that's the police community center grant that the community police, yeah. So hopefully we can go down to that, because I spoke, and I have to say this for the record, and you know, on the public forum. I know the place that we're trying to put it at, as far as the people that I've spoken to, I can't say for everybody, but now I'm in tune to have a discussion with a group of people, whomever want to have that discussion in this particular area to get some feedback from them versus just forcing it upon them. You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's a residential area, And if we're gonna do something like that, we definitely need to make it more community than police, because I don't think we have much crime down there either.
Just so you can, that is a federal grant and the town is out. Even though Ms. Rose worked on it, it's a town thing, so I've already talked to the police chief about community policing. He's helping write the amendment to the CRA plan to make sure we have that community policing component in the new plan. But as far as the grants concerned, that's a town issue, it's not a CRA.
So it has nothing to do with it, all right?
No, it's the town.
Well,
So you might want to speak to this person.
yeah, because I've been getting, all sorts of stories, but I'm glad you just.
Yeah, anything that's federal is always town, unless the town names the agency as the subrecipient.
Okay, that's nice to know. Also, and last but not least, happy holidays, everybody. I know we're looking forward to Christmas on the Boulevard tomorrow, right here. Right,
It's at on the field.
I was on the field, okay.
And I'll give the breakdown of the times as well.
Got you. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing everybody out there, and happy holidays, everybody. That's what I'm for.
Right. Director Daniels.
Executive Director, I emailed your assistant, I guess. We were supposed to have a meeting, but I asked for some information. And I asked the status of the information on December 3rd. Once I did that, and I made that clear, I thanked her for the spreadsheet. I thanked her for the presentation. I asked for the status of my request, which she hasn't got back with me, or he hasn't got back with me yet. And then he said to me, because I had questions with that.
Okay.
So just email.
Just so you know, it was my understanding that you had what you needed. And I was waiting on you at 2:00.
Right. No.
I didn't know.
I had sent an email saying that
I didn't.
Right, I got you. So we're making a couple forms that I sent her email.
Okay.
It's a sheet, right?
Right.
Yeah, that I couldn't make it, but I needed the status of that because I have questions on it.
I'll follow up tomorrow and
Right.
get your response.
Thank you. Everyone have a Merry Christmas.
Director Randolph.
Right, good evening, everyone. I think tonight's meeting went very well, and I want to thank Mr. Johnson for collaborating and working things out and getting everything prepared for this meeting. Also, I would like to say that I appreciate everyone, your cooperation, your support during my tenure as the interim director until we were able to hire one. Also, I'd like to mention that this kind of got by this. We had a resident who's been here since birth pass away on November the 23rd. This is Selena Fleming, who lives here on Clark Street. So I have a resolution already for her and her family. One of the Wilsons, you all know, there's a famous family here. Yes. So I'd like to say happy Christmas to everyone. I hope you all enjoy your families, and I hope to see you when we come back again. Thank you very much.
Vice Chair.
Chair. Like I said, welcome back, Mr. Johnson. We've been nice working with you, get the program and getting the CRA back on its feet, on the way it should be going, with the right implementation that we need. And just working with, just working with us and getting things done. I mean, definitely being professional and being transparent on things, and making things happen. So that's all I have at this moment. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and everybody have a nice year.
Thank you. Welcome, Director Johnson. Look forward to the 2025 achievements. And to Director Matt, the charrette regarding that building and all in the community engagement piece is getting ready to start being scheduled. Mr. Pressey is already getting that, get feedback for the community. That was something you stated. In regards to tomorrow's events, they start at 4. From 4 to 5, there will be a band playing. From 5 to 6, Thomas Leadership Academy will be performing. From 6 to 7:30, Hungerford Elementary will be putting on their show. And then 7:30 to 9, the band again will close it out with performances. That's the schedule for tomorrow. I think it's probably the same one. I don't know. I'm not, but Mr. The recreation director can you reach out. All right, with that being said, happy holidays, everyone. Is there a motion to adjourn? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It is 7:19.
That's all I have to say.
Oh.